Hello once again, Dragons. Today we are looking at lesson 12.4, and we are continuing with geometry. The last time I spoke with you, we talked about different types of polygons, especially how many sides they have, but we did find out a few rules for polygons. Once again, I want to go over those rules because I want them to become ingrained in your heads. First of all, polygons are straight-sided. Shapes. Anything with a curve, anything that looks like a circle is not a polygon. It must have straight sides only. So I'll even write only after it. Straight-sided only. We also know that they are plane shapes. So they must fit in 2 dimensions. Straight-sided plane shapes. And lastly, they must be closed. Open shapes are not polygons. So straight-sided plane shapes that are closed are polygons. Now we're going to talk about, we've talked about angles, and today we're actually going to talk about the sides of the polygons. We're going to look at the lines that make up, or in this case, the line segments that make up those shapes. And we're going to look at 3 types of lines. First of all, one of the types is intersecting. So let me erase this here. Intersecting lines. Intersecting lines do exactly what it sounds like. They intersect. So these would be intersecting lines. Notice I have once again drawn the arrows on the ends. These are intersecting line segments. I have a beginning point. I have a vertex in this case, but I have a place where they come together. Intersecting, intersecting. Anytime they come together and create a vertex or a point. Okay? So these intersecting lines. If I were to draw another line here, I'm just going to kind of put it like this. If I did this, I'm leaving it open, but it were a triangle. These 2 sides, these are the sides to the shape, they are intersecting. So every polygon, every polygon has intersecting lines somewhere because you're going to have angles. Every polygon has to have intersecting lines, or in this case, line segments, because of the sides. All right, so this is intersecting lines. We also have lines that will never intersect at all. These are 2 lines, or line segments. Oops, let's get this. I'm going to try to draw this perfectly here so you can see. There we go, close enough. These 2 lines look like railroad tracks. They can be further apart. If I did them way down here like this, okay? These 3 lines are all parallel. Parallel lines will never intersect. They will never hit each other. They will go forever in space, from here past the moon, out past the galaxy, and these 2 lines will never, ever intersect. They are parallel. And I want you to think of railroad tracks. I want you to think of the sides of a rectangle. The sides of a rectangle will never, ever intersect. Now, these 2 line segments will intersect and form a vertex, but this line and this line are opposite each other, and they are parallel. That's going to be important because we're going to find some shapes that have parallel sides. That means those 2 sides will never touch each other, but they will touch the other sides, but not this and this right here. They will never touch. Okay. And our last set I've discussed the other day, I'm going to actually keep these up, and I'm going to draw as part of this. Lines that come straight down. And we're going to get a cat in our video. You need to get down. Thank you. There you go. I know. Kitty! The kitty was intersecting with the video. So, these lines here are perpendicular. Perpendicular lines form right angles when they cross. You can see right here, here, and here that this line is perpendicular to this line. This purple line is perpendicular to both blue lines because it has created right angles. And we remember, right angles equal 90 degrees because it's 1/4 of a circle. 1/4 of a circle, 360 degrees. 1/4 of that is 90 degrees. So we know that it's 90 degrees. Again, you don't have to know this for 3rd grade, but it is something that's coming up. Okay, so we have our right angles and perpendicular. That's also going to be important with some of our shapes that we have. So we have intersecting lines. These are intersecting lines here. Perpendicular lines do intersect. They just happen to be special intersecting lines. Okay, so tonight they're going to be looking at some different shapes of our polygons. In this case, let's take a look at this shape right here. Okay. In this shape right here, this is called a parallelogram. Parallelogram. It's parallel, and it's a polygon shape. So we have parallel lines. This line and this line are parallel. We use little lines to show that they are parallel. Should actually angle those a little more to show that they're parallel, like this. So I'm going to angle those lines against it. It shows that these are parallel. We can also see that these lines are parallel to each other. If I had drawn it perfectly, these lines go forever. Well, let's do these lines first. If I were to extend them out, you will see that these lines will never touch each other, ever. They're going to continue on forever, even though these are segments. They never touch. That means they're parallel. And these also, let's erase this. And let's take a look at these lines right here. These lines right here and here will never touch each other. Forever they will go and they will be parallel. That's why this is called a parallelogram. Okay. A parallelogram is a closed shape. It is a polygon, and it is a plane shape. So it's a flat surface shape. Okay. Pretty much today, that's all it's going to be asking you. And it's going to be asking you, are these shapes, are these lines parallel, perpendicular, or just intersecting? And these two lines here are intersecting. These two lines on the sides are parallel. This has no perpendicular lines in it. So we'll take out that. Let's take a look at a regular, good old-fashioned square. A square has 4 sides. It is closed. This particular one is not flat, but we're going to imagine it is a flat shape by going around it. There we go, and we'll include it. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, so we've gone around our shape. These are perpendicular lines. They are intersecting because they cross, but they cross it a special way. They create right angles. Therefore, these are perpendicular, right here and here. If it makes an upside down T, or a sideways T, or a right way up T, then they are perpendicular because a T is perpendicular. So we have perpendicular lines, we have intersecting lines, and sure enough, these lines go forever. These lines go forever. What do you notice about these sides? You should see that these sides are parallel to each other, but not just these maroonish ones. These lines are parallel, so I would write it like this. Those lines are parallel, and I would get my maroon out, and I would say that those lines are parallel. Trying to show you that those two parallel, and these two parallel. Right angles, parallel lines, intersecting line segments. This is a very special shape. So tonight you are identifying, are things parallel, intersecting, or perpendicular? Good luck.